What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I will be explaining the most enigmatic, villainous, and ruggedly stylish character in the story of Demon Slayer. He is the final demon boss, the progenitor of all the demons, the smooth criminal, and the reason why the Demon Slayers exist in the first place. I am of course talking about Muzan Kibutsuji, and in this video I will explain Muzan's secret origins, his incredible demonic powers, and his true intentions and motivations. I hope that having all of this information right here in one place will be useful to you, and if you do find our videos useful and you'd like to support more of our work, please consider checking out our Patreon, link in the description. Please be aware that this video will contain manga spoilers. We will be talking about everything we know so far about Muzan, his origins, and his powers, so please proceed with caution, you have been warned. We learn about Muzan when Sakonji Urokodaki, the mentor of Tanjiro and Giyu, tells Tanjiro that Muzan is the demon final boss, the progenitor of all the demons, and that he may be the only one in the world who knows how to turn Nezuko back into a human. Since that moment, Tanjiro sets his sights on finding Muzan and defeating him, and the clash between the two characters becomes inevitable. But what do we really know about Muzan? He is one of the most mysterious characters in the entire series, and as the main villain of Demon Slayer, he remains the driving force of much of the plot. However, we do know some important information about Muzan's secret origins and 1,000-year-old backstory, so let's talk about that right now. Parts of Muzan's backstory were finally revealed in chapter 127 of the manga. Muzan was born in the 8th century AD, which is over 1,000 years before the official beginning of the Demon Slayer story. Born during the Heian period of Japanese history, Muzan was diagnosed with a mysterious illness that was going to kill him before he reached the age of 20. A generous and wise doctor was doing his best to treat Muzan in an attempt to cure his disease. We can infer from this that Muzan comes from a wealthy family of high social standing. The way his home looks in chapter 127 and the fact that he had a state-of-the-art doctor for the time visiting him personally tells us that Muzan was definitely not a commoner. The doctor was giving Muzan a medicine called the Blue Spider Lily, and it was apparently made using the mythical Blue Spider Lily flower. Spider Lily flowers are normally red or white, and this mythical Blue Spider Lily is considered to be extremely rare. But Muzan grew frustrated by the slow process of his treatment, and in a fit of rage he killed the doctor who was treating him. However, after killing the doctor, he realized that the medicine had actually been working. Muzan's body became stronger, and he began exhibiting the demonic power that he now possesses. But the medicine that the doctor had used on him was experimental, and it had not been perfected yet. Despite defeating his illness and gaining an incredibly strong and virtually immortal body, there were also problems. Muzan's body could not tolerate the sun. If he went out into the sun, his flesh would burn and eventually disintegrate. This meant that Muzan was only free to move around at night. Muzan also developed a need to consume human blood and flesh in order to survive, so he essentially became a medieval Japanese vampire. He didn't actually mind this aspect of his existence though. Muzan clearly wasn't a very nice guy to begin with, judging by his treatment of his own doctor, so killing other people and consuming them did not pose a problem for him. But the fact that he couldn't go out in the sun did greatly upset Muzan, and he spent the next 1,000 years trying to find a way to conquer the sun. In terms of personality, Muzan is a massive egomaniac, and his main goal in life is achieving perfection. However, the fact that he can't go out in the sun is a constant reminder that his demon body is not perfect and that it has a blatant flaw. As I mentioned, Muzan quickly came to regret killing his doctor because the medicine that was used on him was very experimental, and so the doctor was the only one who knew how to create this medicine and where to find the Blue Spider Lily. Now that the doctor was dead, Muzan had no way of finding out how to recreate the medicine, let alone to improve it in order to find a way to conquer the sun. Nevertheless, Muzan continued to search for the Blue Spider Lily for the next 1,000 years, and on top of that he began using his own blood to create other demons. Now here's an interesting thing. Muzan had no desire to create demon offspring, but his goal was to keep making demons until one day a demon appeared with an immunity to the sun. When he eventually learns that Nezuko became the first demon to somehow conquer the sun, Muzan goes wild. He proclaims that Nezuko is the chosen demon, and he decides to concentrate all of his efforts on finding Nezuko and consuming her. Muzan believes that once he consumes Nezuko, he too will gain her ability to conquer the sun, and he will finally become perfect after more than 1,000 years of trying. It is important to remember that there are massive gaps in Muzan's backstory that we just know nothing about. The man has been alive for over 1,000 years, that's one whole millennium, and our knowledge of what he has been doing for all that time is extremely limited. But we do know that about 400 years before the beginning of the series, Muzan was nearly killed by the legendary Breath of the Sun user Yoriichi Tsugukuni. Muzan barely managed to escape with his life, but the experience of almost being killed after spending most of his life thinking that he is immortal had a traumatic effect on Muzan. Since encountering the Breath of the Sun user, Muzan has been extremely careful, and to this day he continues to hide his presence from the Demon Slayers by shapeshifting into various different people and pretending to live life as a normal human in order to keep the Demon Slayers off his scent. This would be a good time to mention that Muzan has the ability to shapeshift. He can change his appearance to look like anything from an adult man to a small boy or a beautiful woman. Using this shapeshifting technique, Muzan has been able to avoid detection by the Demon Slayer Corps, but there is one thing that can still force Muzan out of hiding. Ever since first encountering the legendary Breath of the Sun user, Muzan has been bent on destroying everyone and everything associated with the Breath of the Sun. He considers the Breath of the Sun to be the only real threat to his existence, and this is why the Kamado family has become the target of Muzan's wrath. The Kamados have a direct connection to the legendary Breath of the Sun user. As the story progresses, it is revealed that Tanjiro's ancestor Sumiyoshi knew the Breath of the Sun user directly. It appears that Sumiyoshi inherited the Hanafuda earrings from the Breath of the Sun user, as well as the Dance of the Fire God, which is of course a mysterious breath style that has been passed on from father to son within the Kamado family for generations. When Muzan realizes that Tanjiro wears the same Hanafuda earrings that the Breath of the Sun user wore, and when he learns about the Dance of the Fire God, which appears to be the style that is the closest to the Breath of the Sun itself, Muzan decides that he has to eliminate Tanjiro. Some people, like the former Flame Pillar Shinjuro Rengoku, believe that the Dance of the Fire God and the Breath of the Sun are actually one and the same. So it makes sense that Muzan would target anyone who is associated with this style. The Breath of the Sun is still the one breath style that came the closest to actually killing Muzan. So just by being who he is and by inheriting what he had inherited, Tanjiro is seen as a major threat to Muzan. It is worth noting that Nezuko is of course Tanjiro's sister, another member of the Kamado family, so it is possible that her ability to become the first demon to conquer the sun is also directly connected to the Breath of the Sun. After all, her family has a direct connection to the legendary Breath of the Sun user, and her family has passed on the secrets of the Breath of the Sun for hundreds of years. It is quite possible that her direct connection to the Breath of the Sun is the very thing that allowed Nezuko to conquer the sun in the first place, but we still don't know for sure. And this is what we know about Muzan so far in terms of his secret origins and his ultimate goal, which is attaining the perfect immortal body by finding a way to conquer the sun. Currently, he believes that his best bet is absorbing Nezuko, and his energy is focused on that. But now, let's talk about Muzan's demonic powers, of which there are many. There is one more big secret about Muzan's origin and identity that I still haven't talked about, but I will talk about that in a little bit. Right now, let's talk about Muzan's demonic powers, of which there are many. Aside from the aforementioned shapeshifting and the ability to turn humans into demons by making them ingest his blood, Muzan can also control how strong the demons he creates are by allowing them to take in more of his blood. But not everyone can handle having a lot of Muzan's blood in their system, and on one occasion at least, Muzan injected a woman who annoyed him with so much of his blood that her cells melted and naturally she died. Like, super died. Muzan also has the fastest regenerative abilities out of any demon. He can seemingly regenerate his entire body, including his whole head, almost instantly, which makes it incredibly difficult for anyone to actually defeat him in battle. Muzan also has a telepathic connection with other demons. He can read the minds of the demons with whom he has shared his blood, and he can also communicate with them telepathically and issue orders. He was even able to place a curse on the demons that he has shared his blood with, so that if any of them mention his name or reveal information about him, they will instantly die. On top of that, we know that Muzan possesses a blood demon art that allows him to create deadly objects out of his blood and flesh, such as spiked barbed wire, and he is also capable of absorbing other beings into himself. With all of these powers, Muzan is a massive threat to any demon slayer, and it seems that the only person who actually came close to defeating him was the Breath of the Sun user. Now, while we do know quite a few things about Muzan, it is important to note that what we do know is still minuscule compared to the information that is still hidden. Muzan has been alive for over 1,000 years, so there are many things about his extremely long life that we still don't know anything about. Likewise, it is possible that Muzan possesses many other special demonic powers and abilities that have yet to be revealed. It is important to keep these facts in mind going forward, but there is one more crucial thing about Muzan that we learned in chapter 137 of the manga. Muzan actually comes from the very same family as Ubuyashiki Kagaya, also known as Oyakata-sama, the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps. Because of the fact that a demon came out of their bloodline, the Ubuyashiki family was cursed. All of the children of the family were born extremely weak, and none of them could live past the age of 30. Unless they find a way to finally kill Muzan, the Ubuyashiki family is doomed to die out completely. And that is why Oyakata-sama and all the members of his family for nearly 100 generations have been committed to destroying Muzan. I hope we learn more about the Ubuyashiki family as the story goes on, and of course I want to know more about Muzan and how he became who he is today. Please let me know what you guys think. Do you like Muzan as a villain? And what do you think will ultimately happen to him? Do you think that he will be defeated soon? Or do you think that Muzan still has a lot of tricks up his sleeve and we are just scratching the surface of his complex and ruthless character? Let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please leave a like to let me know. And if you happen to be new to AnimeUproar, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar for all the latest anime news and updates. I want to give a big thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons for making videos like this one possible. Special thanks to our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, Angel Cruz, Steelers, Poet Pablo, Atropos Wraith, and Fididala Beat. And also an epic thank you to all of our The One tier patrons, the ones who stand above all other clans, including Ingrata, Alolanatum, Maddie Mac, and Makotakun. If you enjoy our videos and you feel that they provide value for you, consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a single $1 will give you access to our patron-only Discord. And to show our gratitude, your name will appear in our videos along with these amazing people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys. Space Cowboys.